Now, my dear students, ours is Sankalpa classes, and we are dealing with the reasoning now, which we are going to start the decision making and problem solving chapter. Problem solving. So, first of all, in competitive examinations like RRB, Staff Selection Commission, UPSC, and other allied examinations, so this chapter is very important. And the art of selecting one choice of action from several possible alternatives that leads to a solution of a particular problem is called decision making. What is decision making? We are given with a lot of similar alternatives, similar answers will be given. And in this similar answers, we have to select one. The act of selecting one choice of action from several possible alternatives that leads to a solution of a particular problem. Say a problem is there, and we are given 4 alternatives like A, B, C, D, and they will be similar. They are all possible alternatives, and out of these 4 alternatives, you have to select the best. Suppose I will tell a question which was asked in Civil Services IAS examination. What is it is? Suppose when we travel across the south and north states in India, what we observe is, while a train, let us suppose, we will get railway stations very near in south if we travel. Within half a kilometer or within 5 kilometers range, we will get another station. Suppose Rajahmundry is there, we will get Godavari station within a range of 5 kilometers, and after that another station like Kogur, another station like Pasivedala. In this same way, all the stations we will get within 2 to 3 minutes duration. And if we go to north, and it takes hours together to travel from one station to the other, we don't get the railway station. So here, what is the question asked is, when we travel in the northern India and in southern India, we will, the more distance between a station to a station, a railway station is there. A long distance is observed in in northern India. What is the reason? And all the 4 best answer choices given is, one is lack of manpower. Because in South India we have a lot of manpower, laborers. So this in North India it is less. So the possible answer is, due to lack of laborers, this distance is more. A question an alternative is given. And here in B alternative, lack of fertile lands. See, in South India, as the rivers are more in South India, like Godavari, Krishna and all, this Tungabhadra and all. So, lack of fertile lands will be more. And in the northern India, because due to lack of fertility in lands, so this distance may be more, is the other alternative. And when you take it for the third option, laborer is given, social infrastructure. So always society will be there, and the societal social factors is the third choice. And fourth choice, it is none will be given. Either none, or what we will give is lack of rivers, less number of rivers in South India when compared to North India. And all the 4 answers seems to be the same. And which is the best answer should be picked out. And the best answer always in competitive examinations should be social infrastructure or social farm. This society plays a vital role everywhere we go. So C is the alternative correct best answer. So these type of questions will be dealt. So this is called decision making, and when we develop this decision making, we'll get the good answer, then the correct and the appropriate answer. Likewise, I'll tell you, you're a graduate and you have went through the IAS examination, you got selected in a civil services, you have become the best IAS officer, right? And you were posted as some managing director of Food Corporation of India, right? It's good. And now your minister is not available, and you have in cold storages, you have stored the fish, let us suppose. In cold storages, you have stored this fish and all, prawns and all. And suppose there is no time, the cold storages, inside the cold storages, this electricity equipment, this refrigerators, this coolers system got destroyed suddenly. And there is no time for you to dispose this stock. But you should take the decision, and the minister is not available, concerned minister. And there is a chance of every chance to take disciplinary action if you take what we say as a daring step by the minister if you take some type of action. So the wise step is whether to retain this stock and gets spoiled, and you'll bring loss to the government. This is first option. And the second option is daringly you have to dispose the stock by your own decision. Of course, you should not get afraid of the minister's disciplinary action, the departmental action. So when you take the disciplinary, the best method, the best action by disposing the stock, this government revenue is saved. So as an IAS officer, you have to take certain individual decisions. So this is called decision making. And if you take the correct and appropriate decision, then you will be benefited, profited. The government and the society will be benefited. So now decision making requires a wider perspective. Here, wider perspective is important. Additional point of view with a degree of objectivity is needed. Decision making process tests your thinking in arguments and debating, and it is in fact a continuous process incorporated in the interface with the society. So this is what about decision making. What is decision making? Decision making is a thought process of selecting a logical choice from the available options. See, one thing what we have to do, you should always have logical consistency. Logical thinking should be there, and it should be rational, and it should be scientific highly, and it should be woven. It should be, see, no secrecy is there. What we say is all transparent. We'll use the word in government, all transparent. So, decision making is a thought process of selecting a logical choice from the available options, making good decision, taking into account the pros and cons of the available options. So, we can say decision making completely tests the person's nature of responding to the given situation. For an effective decision making, a person must be able to foresee the result of each option available and then select the one which is the best for the given situation. So always when a decision should be effective, what we should be to see is you must be able to foresee the result of each option. What you have selected an option, and out of that option you have to foresee what will happen if we select this. and then they select one which is the best for the given situation. In a much simpler words, decision making can be defined as the process of making up mind to conclude or tackle some problematic situation firmly. This is what about decision making, and we have different types of decisions. The decisions are categorized into three types. Now we have three types. Okay. What are they? Whether decision. The first one is whether. This is a whether decision. This is a kind of decision in which you have only two choices. That is either yes or no. You have two choices. Either yes or no. That should be the answer. These decisions are made by considering reasons, pros and cons of the case. So for example, I will give you an example. Whether I should purchase the land, that is the first question. Whether I should purchase the land or not. Yes or no will be the answer. Should I appear for the IAS examination this year? This is another type of question. And the other type is which decision. So this is part whether decision, and the other one is which decision. So this is the decision where you have to choose one alternative amongst many alternatives. So many alternatives will be given, and out of them you have to choose the one alternative amongst all these many alternatives. This choice is generally based on how well each alternative measures up to a set of predefined criteria. And I'll give you an example. Among this list of subjects, you have to choose one option for civil services main examination. It is which subject you choose. There are so many like sociology, anthropology, mathematics, physics and all different subjects are there to appear for optional civil services main examination, as you have to select as optional subject and main examination, and which subject you should choose is the alternative. So there which decision plays an important role. And the third decision is the contingent decision. Contingent. This is contingent decision. What is this contingent decision? This is the decision that has been made but put on hold until some conditions are met. See, this is the decision that has been made. You have to make the decision, undoubtedly, but put on hold until some conditions are met. Some conditions we should meet some conditions. These are basically if decisions. These are called as if decisions, where you decide to do some activity only then if criteria is satisfied. So, I'll give you an example. If I can prepare in civil services prelims this year, only if I complete my syllabus by that time. This is the alternative. Example is if contingent decision. I can appear in civil services examination myself. I can appear. When? If, only if I completed the syllabus in right time. This is the first example, contingent decision. And the other is, I can purchase this book if I have some money. Only when I have money, I can purchase the book. Only when the syllabus is completed by within the stipulated time, in the right time, then only I can sit in the competitive examination. So this is called contingent decision. Now I will give you the case study. Case study is Mohan wants to be an IAS officer, right? You want to become an IAS. He thus made some search about how to get into civil services. Obviously, we have to go through and how to get through this civil services exams. And after going through the syllabus, he went through the syllabus. He came to know that one optional subject has to be selected for civil services main examination. There are more number of hundreds of subjects in as optional subjects to select for civil services main examination. So he went through all the subjects. Now he has to decide about which option he is going to select. Now it is the decision is up to him that he should select. He finds difficulty to decide. It's not easy. See, for anyone to take a decision, wise decision, it should take some time, and then the suggestions should be taken. He has to choose. He has the choices as follows. So, what are the choices? One is to opt for the subject which he has studied in his graduation. Suppose he is a commerce graduate, BCom he studied. He has to either take economics or commerce or statistics. So, suppose he is a science student. He has to take either physics, chemistry or mathematics. If he is a science subject with specialization in chemistry, BSc chemistry, he has to take chemistry as optional subject. Of course, physics also he will study and mathematics also he will study. And if he is engineering, he has to select one subject from engineering stream. So this is how he has to select. These options are there in his hand, and one subject he has to select. What is the subject that he had studied in his graduation? And the second is to opt for any popular subject like public administration, sociology, etc. So, my dear friends, this has been a tradition for civil services going student from years together. When this civil services examination got introduced, the students will opt almost Bachelor of Arts BA is the best subject to go through this civil services examination, and people generally will take sociology or public administration or anthropology or history, and the trend will be changing from world history. We'll get the toughest questions, and so it is in our hands that we have to select this public administration or sociology easiest chapters, and this has become as a popular subject. So this Mohan now he has popular subjects like public administration, sociology, etc. He has to prepare again. Of course, it has come out through commerce background, and he is in no touch with this sociology or public administration, but still then he has an option of selecting this public administration or sociology. And the third one is to choose the subject on the availability of the material. Of course, we will select the subject, but what about material? We have to prepare our own material. We need not go through today. These days, it has become fashion. Going to different institutions and getting coaching. Almost, if you compare what is the number of success, what is the success rate? Suppose thousands students are there, only 10 members or 4 members are getting selected. With that too, not with the top ranks, with different ranks. So we have to prepare our own material. Self-study is always important. And it is always helpful for us. So to choose the subject on the availability of the material. And next, the fourth one is to choose the subject which is taught by famous institutions. So they will go through the subject taught in the famous institutions. What is familiarity here? What is the meaning of famous, my dear friends? More number of students are pumping into the institutes, and even though the success rate is there lesser, the institutes, as the more number of students are floating, the institute became a famous institution. There are certain institutions where the standards are being maintained, and these students' psychology also should change. When we are teaching them in universities, these are colleges, these students they won't hear. Suppose BTech students are there, and these students, they won't hear, and they will pay the same amount, they'll pay more amount, and they will go to the private institutions, and the same lessons will be covered, and with the lesser standards, because in universities and the colleges, the professors will go through certain tests, certain norms conducted by government of India, the government, state governments, and UGC, and then we will get selected. So my dear friends, with substandard staff, some institutions are functioning, but still the students, they will go to the institutes, they will depend on the institutes, and they will shut their mouth, and they will listen the same chapters which are taught in the private institutions, in the private coaching centers. So anyhow, we have to choose the subject which is taught by famous institutions. And next, to opt for the subject which has less syllabus. So again, there is a chapter subject we have to subject to the choice we have to take the subject. It should consist of less chapters. Less syllabus will be there. Less syllabus, the student will be more comfortable. More number of chapters, it will become vast study. And you are not a research student that you should spend more number of time. No student these days to spend more time on studies, to make wide research. The patience has got lost. The patience has got decreased. So the standards of the students have come down in this present era, in these present days. So my dear friends, I will be seeing all my students coming out of different engineering colleges with no subject, and with less, more number of backlogs. Our students are coming out of the institutions, whether it may be IITs, whether it may be in IIMs. There are so many failures in IITs. When the student is intelligent, he should also be hardworking at the same time. And when the student is, then if a student is intelligent and he is not working hard, definitely he will fail. And when the student is less intelligent but he is working hard more, then he will come out with flying colors. He will get more percentage of marks. What is the difference? Krishito nasti durviksham. You have to work hard. It all, your memory power may be extraordinary, your knowledge may be extraordinary, but we will have the syllabus in a stipulated time. In the first semester examinations, if you prepare well, you will come out with the good pass out. You will become a good pass out. You will come out with good marks. And if you work less, then even if you are intelligent, you will get less marks. So this system follows when all the institutions for all the semesters. This is our vast experiences and vast observation, previous observation. Now, all the students, they will select the subject with the lesser syllabus, and to opt for the subject which also compensates for the subject in general studies. So, how the students will select in general studies? It's a vast subject which science is covered, history is covered, arts is covered, and mathematics is covered. And in this general studies chapter, they will select one subject. They will opt for a subject where it compensates for the subject in general studies. We need no more preparation. Less preparation is enough. If we take that subject is almost there in the general studies. It got covered in general studies. So what we will select? We will select the subject which compensates for the subject in general studies. Such type of subject we can select. So we have different 6 options are there. This is the case study, and which subject we have to take, which option we have to take. Let us see. These are the various ways in which he can decide to select the option, right? Now on the basis of his criteria like money, now we have to go for other criteria. Money should be there for buying books, for traveling, for applying for IAS examinations and all examination fee one should pay, and one should go to a private institution where he has to take the coaching, so he has to pay money. So on the basis of his criteria like money, place or residence, educational background, etc., he has to weigh all these alternatives one by one and assign weightage to each criteria on the scale of 1 to 10, considering its pros and cons. So options are there. What is that option? We will see the options. What are the options? Requirement of coaching, requirement of coaching. So let us see the pros and cons. And the second is availability of study material. Availability of study material. And the third one is hold on subjects. Hold on subject. Now, based upon this net weightage of pros and cons, he should choose the alternative with the highest weightage by eliminating the subject with the lesser weightage. What's that? Now, based upon this net weightage of pros and cons, he should choose the alternative with the highest weightage of eliminating the subject with the lesser weightage. This is how rational decision making is done. Right. Now, decision making can be categorized into again 3 groups. What are the 3 groups? What are the 3 groups? Rational decision. Rational decision. What is rational decision? Everything should be rational. Hetubandha. So, these are logical sequential models. It should be logical. It should have logical consistency. So, these are logical sequential models where the emphasis is on listing many potential options and then working out which is the best. Often the pros and cons of each option are also listed and scored in order of importance. So, these are logical sequential models. Models will be there and logical consistency should be there and they should be in sequence. Where the emphasis, weightage should be given to on what? Is on listing many potential options. There are certain options, potential options, there should be potential. And then working out which is the best. Out of that, you have to choose the best. This is what a rational decision is. And this is not an elementary class that I should say what I should divide each term, what is rational, what is decision. So, this, as you are all scholars, research scholars, as you are all postgraduates, my dear students, as you are all engineering graduates and medicos, so you should listen my lecture and you should follow the course and you should go through the models and prepare well. This is how we teach in the universities, in IITs and in IIMs especially. So, we ask our students not to become employee. We will always encourage our students to create work empowerment, to become an entrepreneur. As well as an engineering graduate, you should establish your own institution. You should establish your own software company. You should establish your own industry, and you should give empowerment for several employment for several other employees persons. So this is how the university teaching will be. an IIT's teaching will be, and an IIM's teaching will be. So, as a visiting professor in different IITs and in IIMs, so my methodology has proved well, and thousands of students got selected in competitive examinations like civil services and UPSC examinations. And my dear friends, the second decision is intuitive decision. Intuitive decision. So what is that? The idea here is that there may be absolutely no reason or logic to the decision making process. Instead, there is an inner knowing or intuition or some kind of sense of what the right thing to do is. This is what an intuitive decision is. What's that? The idea here is that there may be absolutely no reason or logic, without reason to the decision making process. You can select any option. Your decision may be anything you like. Instead, there is an inner knowing or intuition. Besides this, what will happen? You are not going in a vague way. Inner knowledge is there, and you'll be knowing the right answer, or intuitiveness. Your intuitiveness will tell you this is the right answer, this is the right option. Intuition powers, we'll say. My sixth sense or seventh sense will come across in the society. Is saying, my sixth sense is saying, so this is what intuitive decision is, or some kind of sense of what the right thing to do is. Someone from inner side, yourself, it will drive you that this is the right answer. And next, the third option is combination decision. Combination decision. Right. Many decisions are actually as a result of combinations of natural and intuitive processes. This can be deliberate, where a person combines aspects of both, or it can occur unwittingly. See, many decisions are there, many decisions are actually as a result of combinations of natural and intuitive processes. Natural processes there, anything you can select. As I told you in the previous cases in a rational decision, and all the case studies I have given you the 6 options previously. And intuitive processes, from your inner side, you will be driven. And this can deliberate, it will tell you how the person combines aspects of both, or it can occur unwittingly. So these are the see the 3 categories, 3 groups of making this decisions. Okay.